for the city of Saratoga Springs, Tuesday, May 21st, 2024 at 6 p.m. Present tonight, I have Councilman Wadman, Karn, Wilden, McComber, and Barton. So we do have a quorum tonight. I've asked Councilman McComber to lead us in our invocation and Councilman Karn to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Our dear and gracious Heavenly Father, as we come before Thee at this time, we're grateful for all the many blessings Thou hast given us. We're grateful for the additional water in which we're receiving. We're grateful for this beautiful city in which we get to call home. Heavenly Father, please bless us this day that as we discuss budgets and other critical items that affect the city and the residents of Saratoga Springs, that we'll be able to think through the decisions and how they impact the citizens and the city today and into the future. Heavenly Father, we ask a special blessing upon all of the first responders and those serving in the armed forces. And we also ask a special blessing upon all the staff and workers here in the city who give all of their heart and time and energy to helping make Saratoga Springs truly a beautiful place to live. We love Thee, Heavenly Father, and say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please rise. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, public input. Time has been set aside for the public to express ideas, concerns, comments for subject matter not listed. If you're here for the public hearing tonight, please hold your comments for the enterprise funds, compensation schedule, or fiscal year 2024-2025 budget, or for the appropriate agency meeting. Please avoid repetitive comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Is anybody here for public input this evening? Okay. Seeing none, I will close the public input portion of our meeting tonight. We have a presentation. Paul Raymond, it's all your show.
Mayor, Council, it's good to be here tonight from Camp Williams. There's a couple of gentlemen I'd like to introduce to you before I get started on this, if I may. Have them come up. We've got Darwin Craig from Camp Williams. Thank you. Go ahead. Just have them introduce themselves.
I'm Darwin Craig. I am basically the base manager of Camp Williams. I work for Colonel Jeff Buman, who is the colonel that's in charge. He is a traditional, so he does a lot of work in Utah County as an attorney and has his family. But Mayor and Council, thank you for having me. But I end up working during the week in a civilian capacity. I wore the uniform for 37 years, and now I'm back as a civilian working with soldiers and with airmen. And really, out at Camp Williams, most people probably don't know but we work not only with soldiers, airmen, Marines, sailors, Coast Guardsmen, multinational forces, police forces, folks from all over the United States and really all over the world in the different exercises that we have. This is the third city that I've been to in as many days in Utah, and I know I'll make this quick, but I just want to tell you how thankful I am to serve there for the support that you do provide. I'm a father of a couple kids in the military, and I know that many of you have ties with those, and you have many people in your community that leave their work. They basically leave the plow. They come and they train with us to be the best forces in the world, and the threat is no greater than it is now in this world, I believe. So I want to thank you for your support. Worked with you before. We've had the leaders out to Camp Williams before. We're having more events to help you to understand what we do and to show you what we do and to continue your vested interest. But I want to say thank you for helping us train and do the best in the world. And anytime you need anything, please let me know. And at least I didn't have to tap dance like Paul was saying. So please let me know if there's anything I can do to serve you, and look forward to working with you more.
And I've got Ryan Becker. Ryan, you want to
Yeah, good evening, Mayor and Councilman. I'll be short and sweet here, but I was with a soldier with the Utah National Guard for 24 years, and I recently joined Paul working for the West Traverse Sentinel landscape. And so it's a new world to me, and I've enjoyed the learning curve and working with the cities around Camp Williams. I worked on Camp Williams in several different roles over the years, and so being able to get outside the fence and work with the cities is a great opportunity, and I appreciate that. So thank you for having me here.
Anyways, thank you very much. We haven't been here for a couple of years. You've got new council members. Some of the council members have been here for a while, the mayor. But I'd just like to kind of give you an update of where we are on all our work that we're doing around Camp Williams. So there's the map of the West Traverse Sentinel landscape that encompasses quite a large area around Camp Williams. But I just wanted to let you know that the state also has a new, what they call a Sentinel landscape. It's called the Great Salt Lake Sentinel Landscape. It encompasses part of the Great Salt Lake and all down through this area. So I'm hopeful that we won't get them confused. We're a state Sentinel landscape. We do all our work on a state basis. We receive federal funds as part of our what we do, but just want to let you know that we're different from them. Got that. This is just some information on what we do. We contribute a lot to the community, but I think you guys know that. This one here is noise contours that have been confirmed coming off of Camp Williams. If you notice where the wildflower development area is, I think most of you know where that is if you look at that map. You can see the two corners where the sound came out. The one on the east side is, we've mitigated a lot of that, and that's where your cemetery is going to be. And then on the west side, we have easements that we're just waiting to close with Lennar. So that's like, I think it's 65 acres that we're doing in there. So hopefully we'll keep homes out of those areas and reduce the complaints. This is the aircraft noise. Not a lot we can do about that, but
I think it's cool.
I like it.
I know. I do too.
I don't live next to it, but I like it.
When the helicopter's coming over Utah Lake, it's
If you could add F-35s, I'd be even happier.
There's some other noise contours, but this is our map. I don't know if you've seen our map of parcels that we've been able to purchase and encumber over the past 8 years. It's been a while since we've been working on this. But all those dark green ones are ones we have easements on or have purchased. The ones with the green with the stripe lines are ones we have under contract. And we're making great progress. We're almost 40% done with the whole project to help buffer Camp Williams. So things are going well. It's been great working with the city. The work that we put in to get that neighborhood changed to the cemetery plot was, I mean, that was near part a success in my mind. But you guys put in a lot of that work to make that happen. And I just wanted to let you know there's different opportunities out there right now. If the city's ever interested in doing some type of a joint infrastructure type facility with Camp Williams, like maybe it could be wildland fire or something along those terms, there's grants out there available for the city to use. And so we can help you work those grants. Takes a letter from us, but a lot of it could be schools, it can be roadways, it can be different things, but there's a lot of money available, different sources. But that's all I had, and I just wanted to thank you and ask you if you have any questions for anything.
Councilman Carn?
A question, I just want to thank you for the partnership on the cemetery property. That's really important to our residents to have that, and just so our residents know the base was instrumental in making that happen, helping that happen.
Well, we're certainly glad to have Saratoga Springs as a
partner at Camp Williams. General Green and Colonel Fullenbaugh were supposed to be here tonight. They had something come up and they couldn't make it. And they asked me to apologize on their behalf for not being here, but Colonel Green is going to be retiring within the next 30 days. And so the next one-star general for the Army is Colonel Sean Fullenbaugh. And so he'll be the commander of basically the Army, since our new adjutant general's from the Air Guard. And so he would love to come down and meet you first chance we get, and it may be some future point event or whatever, but we'll make sure he wants to come meet all of you. So he's a really good guy. So that's all I have. I'm not sure how to turn this.
Councilman McComber.
I just wanted to thank you as well, but in particular, Mark, I want to make sure we get, see that our fire chief isn't here today. I think that we really definitely would want to talk with them about some of those grants that protest for wildfire protection, where our fire station, the one in the north end of our city, is probably one of the closer to your facilities as well. So the mutual aid, there's some real opportunities there. We've done a lot with wildfires since we had that big one that caused the mudslide. And we've done a lot as a city to try and be more prepared. And if we can partner with the base, that would be great.
That's awesome. And there's a location right out there by Wildflower where we've discussed in the past maybe putting some type of facility there that we could both use, a joint facility for wildland fire,
That'd be great.
ambulance services or whatever. But if there's anything we can do, we'd be more than willing to help you. So
Thank you very much.
anyways, thanks.
I just want to say, Paul, thank you. When he was working with the city for the cemetery in ACUB, our city also nominated him to be on the Utah County Boundary Commission, and he served there. It's not, so when he says he's here to help the community, he is, the county, us. So thank you for all of it.
You're welcome. Love to serve, and thank you very much for all the opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have the presentation of the UTA Park and Ride.
It'll take a minute.
It's not a bad thing. Oh, and that's not a bad thing to consider too, if there's a port on the dais in the new city hall. We can do it.
Yeah.
Found the cord.
Oh,
Let's just do it. But and just what I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like port on the dais.
Looks like we're almost ready there. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jared Scarborough. I'm with Utah Transit Authority. I'm the Director of Design and Construction at UTA. I'm happy to be here. I live in Lehigh, so got me closer to home tonight. So thanks for having us. I'm here with a good team. Our project manager right now is behind me, Lauren Livingston. Our design manager, Ryan Kitchen, and then Nick Wilcox behind me with our service planning group. And we're going to go over some park and ride concept plans tonight. Before I get into that, I just wanted to kind of introduce at least my department's way of thinking at UTA. There's two words I use all the time with our team, and I hope my whole team knows them by heart now, but it's partnership and alignment. That's really what that's some words we strive to work towards. We want to be good partners in the community. We do have an opportunity here with these park and rides to hopefully provide a better service in the area. And we're here to achieve alignment in that solution. So thanks for having us. We went over the project team. There's obviously other members that aren't here with us as well. I will have, Nick is going to come up and go over the service plan that we have. If there's any questions about that, he can answer them as well. And then Ryan will get into some more of the details of the actual technical design, what the bus stop looks like, the road, where it's at, all those things. So I'll turn it over to Nick.
Every 2 years, UTA works on our 5-year service plan, and so this year we're doing that again. Last iteration, 2 years ago, a new route was planned to serve Eagle Mountain and Saratoga Springs, and it's the blue line that you can see there. This park and ride would be located along that line on Pony Express. And just to orient you with our system, this new line would be a 30-minute all-day bus route, 30-minute frequency during weekdays, and have a connection to American Fork Front Runner Station. So that's near I-15 right there. You can see the purple line is Front Runner. And there's another line that is also going to be serving American Fork Station that this would connect to. Oh, yes, thanks. Doesn't work for them.
Our system, you have to use.
Okay.
It's okay. So the other line that would also go to American Fork Station would be a new one also, 30-minute frequency, would connect American Fork, Pleasant Grove, Linden, and then Orem, and then go down to UVU and Orem Station. So it'd be a service that somebody could ride through American Fork Station and stay on the bus if they wanted to. Then there's another line that currently runs along State Street that would be improved, and it goes from Provo to Lehigh. So what this new line serving Saratoga Springs would do be connecting to our train and bus network. Some of the things about the change we have an existing route that comes to Saratoga Springs. It has 4 trips in the morning going out and 4 trips in the afternoon coming back. That's shown on this map with the black line. You can see it. It does go to the ranches in Eagle Mountain. It comes through here, this area, serves Harvest Hills, goes to a Lehigh Station. That route is not planned to continue, but we do have services that we're considering to replace it with. One of those could be UTA On Demand. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that type of service, but it's similar to an Uber service that would connect people to our transit network. We have probably more than just the park and ride to talk about in the future, and so be happy to do that at some point, but we'll focus on that. Unless you have any questions for me, we'll focus on the park and ride today.
Okay, that's where I come in here. I'm going to explain the Park and Rides project. Just to get you oriented, first off, where this is located. We're actually doing 2 Park and Rides, one in Eagle Mountain, one in Saratoga Springs. The one in Saratoga Springs is just east of the Jordan River near the Public Works site. And our contract for this project is to provide final design for the park and ride lots and the corresponding bus stops at each location. We're currently in the planning stage, the conceptual planning stage right now, and I'll show a schedule for the project, and it's actually the last slide in here. So I'm going to skip over Eagle Mountain. Both park and rides are pretty similar. This is the Saratoga Springs site. This is the conceptual plan that we have for the park and ride lot. Just to get you oriented, if you look at the north arrow at the bottom right-hand side of the screen, you'll see that it's tilted kind of to the upper right. And so up is not quite north. So however, I'm going to call westbound is to the left on the screen because it's a little bit at a diagonal at this point, but for the most part, Pony Express does run east and west. So I will refer to the left side as westbound and east side as eastbound, or right side as eastbound. What you'll see in here is that we have inline bus stops with pullouts, and this will help with the route timing. It will provide a good service to be able to have the bus just pull off at these bus stops and have the buses stay on Pony Express. We do show some trail connections on here. The main one that you can see is connecting between the intersection of Seaside Street, which is the one that heads up towards the north that's currently being built, or maybe it's already built now, and it dead ends. And so you see the trail from that intersection that heads towards the west, towards the existing parking lot, which is Trailhead and the RC Park that's over to the left or west side there. So there's that trail connection there. We have planned to put in a new signalized signal at this intersection of Pony Express and Seaside Street. This will help accommodate the pedestrians to being able to cross the street and access the other side of the road for that eastbound direction. The parking lot itself has about 60 parking stalls roughly. That could go plus or minus a little bit. The goal was to get at least 50 parking stalls. So what we're showing is just around 60 parking stalls right now. Make sure I get on the right page. So there is an access at the beginning. You can see there's an access there that's going to be a shared access. County owns this land, and they have some plans to develop as well. So you see the little stub at the kind of the upper part of the screen there. This does include potential expansion area. Depending on how things go, it could be added more parking or whatever needs are there. There's that potential expansion area that we would want to reserve for the future. This will be ADA accessible, and as I mentioned, Utah County land, so this will be a cooperative agreement or maybe two different agreements. However that works out, we'll have to coordinate both with Saratoga Springs and Utah County for this site. And then I want to just point out this picture that you're looking at is the interim condition. Pony Express right now is half built in this location. There's only one lane in each direction. And so during this interim condition, we have the eastbound side would be in the permanent spot because that's the road is in the permanent spot on that south side of the road. But the westbound side is a temporary pullout. We would just do an asphalt pullout. And what we would do is in the future, when this gets widened, and we'd need to come up with how this is going to work in agreement. But what this would do is in the future, as I change slides here, you'll see that the full, with the full build out, there's a pull out just to the west side of Seaside Street, and that would be the full permanent condition where we would put that pull out. So there'd be a temporary pull out and then the full pull out. And then before, I'm going to talk about the shelters and how the bus stops work, and then we can talk about the conceptual plan and any comments that you have for that. So the westbound, heading westbound, because in this condition, you're primarily going to have people that are heading home for the westbound. And so the westbound stop does not have a shelter. It would just be an 8-foot by 8-foot pad with, you can see the flag marker there with the route sign. And so people would just get off and just be heading to their cars. There'd be very little waiting at this site. And so we do not have planned a bus shelter for the westbound direction. However, for the eastbound direction, we do anticipate a lot more waiting at that site. We do have a bus shelter planned as a level 5 eclipse is what we call it. And as far as like what that includes is it has, again, the concrete pad and the route flag, but also has a timetable case giving some information about the route and the timing, the service. It's a lighted 7-foot by 12-foot shelter, so you have lighting there and a little bit bigger concrete pad to accommodate. You have the benches and a trash can at this location. That's what the eastbound site would have this shelter. I would happily take any comments that you have at this point. I have one more slide after this, which is just a schedule. I can talk about that, or I'm happy to help answer any questions or take any comments.
Councilman Carn?
It's hard for me to see from the presentation, but we're in the short term planning on that being a much wider road. Are you planning around that right now? That's going to be, we're widening that. I don't want this project to come in and then we have to tear it out, and it needs to be done for that right of way to start.
Yeah, we would want to make sure everything is future compatible to minimize any demolition that would have to be incurred when this is widened. For that purpose, we're proposing just an asphalt. I'm showing the interim condition right here with only half the road being built so far. So there would be an interim pullout that would be an asphalt that would need to be removed once the road is widened. There's some curb and gutter there and a sidewalk connection. And so there's not a lot. We talked about different options of how to accommodate the future expansion, and we found this to be the least expensive option, is to have essentially some curb and gutter and pavement that would need to be removed.
Later, so is
Yeah.
our widening going to happen to the north for the most part?
Yes.
West, north, okay, yep. So the eastbound stop that's got the pavilion could be
That's permanent.
built permanent.
Yes.
It's the west side that would
Right.
be a little bit of demo.
Yeah, and the fortunate thing is the west side doesn't need we don't have plans to put a bus shelter there. It'd just be a small concrete pad and, like I say, the pullout.
Okay.
When are you planning on constructing this?
Okay, the schedule slide.
When, what year?
So let me just run through the schedule. We're in the conceptual design phase right now, plan to finish that up next month, hopefully. We do have an environmental categorical exclusion that needs to go with this project, and it's a pretty minor document, hoping to have that finished by August of this year. And then the final design, we're shooting for finishing up hopefully before the end of the year, and then construction starting after that pretty quickly, and finishing construction around September, maybe around the fall of next year.
So as far as the route goes, are you anticipating it going along Pony Express in the future alignment that is being built with Saratoga, Lehigh, and American Fork? Or are you planning on going down and then jumping out onto Pioneer Crossing in the interim?
I'm going to let Nick take that one.
And a lot of it depends on the timing, but eventually we want to be on Pony Express. So how far that road goes when we're able to begin service, we'll go. And if we have to, like say at Center Street, Lehigh, get up onto Pioneer Crossing, that's what our map shows for right now. So hopefully they could coincide.
And again, just to be clear, you would begin running 4 routes in the morning, 4 routes in the evening?
Every half hour.
Every half hour?
Every half hour on weekdays, yeah.
Okay. And then will there be any weekend service on that?
On Saturdays, that'll be probably every 60 minutes.
Okay.
What are your projected riderships say?
Our current route that I showed is the one that you were talking about. It's only 4 trips in and 4 trips out. That has 80 riders per day. We don't have like an exact projection for this route, but what we have is the way that we project is based on things like the density and things like, the demographics and things. Enough riders would ride this that it would justify a route that's every 30 minutes. So that's a tier 2 route. A tier 1 route is like every 15 minutes. You see, in Salt Lake a lot. So a tier 2 route every 30 minutes. It's about 10 boardings per hour, if that makes any sense. I don't have a number for total boardings, but
Does your route here have any other stops besides the 2 park and rides?
yes,
Do you have a map that shows where those stops will be?
we don't yet. It's, again, because some question marks on exactly, where the routing is and Pony Express being developed. But we anticipate we would like to have stops so that anybody along the route could have good access.
Is it possible to look at a route that would drop off near Westlake or Vista Heights Middle School as it's going westbound?
Yeah, so this route would stay on Pony Express to Eagle Mountain. And so we would love to partner with Saratoga Springs to have a stop in those areas. We have requests for service in that area.
Okay, Councilman McComber, then Wadman.
So do you have a drawing or a picture of the example of what that bus stop will look like? You said it's a level 5 or something.
Eclipse.
That's like a pencil drawing, but do you have an example of what that might look like?
Like a picture?
Yeah. I mean, because is it really just like, because in Provo, you have amazing structures, they're so fancy, and you guys spent billions of dollars on that. Is this going to be just a simple metal thing?
It's not the UVX line, no. It's not going to be customized shelter. It's more a standard UTA shelter. I don't have, do you know where one of these is located?
We could get that to Jeremy.
Yeah, if you could just get us one, that would be great.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because, yeah. And then these people aren't getting free bus rides, right? They're paying for these. We're in Provo, they're free. This is paid, correct? Okay, just wanted to make sure we tell the residents correctly.
Councilman Wadman.
Yeah, so those 80 people that are currently being serviced, when we take that route away, because that's where I live in northern Saratoga Springs, I have a neighbor that does this often. Is there going to be a replacement? This is, by the way, I commend this. This is getting more buses going, helps our roads, and I'm encouraged by this. But to replace that, is there going to be anything, or is there a communication or
So
to those 80 people?
We haven't exactly determined what kind of service it's going to be, but we will have some service.
Okay.
If we have UT on demand, then it wouldn't be a bus, it would be more like a van.
And that van would take them to the,
It could go
wherever
to
then-
wherever in that service area that they.
okay.
So if they're connecting to Lehigh Station now, which is where the route ends on that side, that they could do that.
Okay.
Councilwoman Barton.
I just have a question, Mark, you might be able to explain to me better. So how quick, like you're building this, but then how quickly are we having to, I don't know, tear down or whatever, change everything? Like how quick are we bringing in, when are we, what's our timeline on that? Thank you.
That is a great question. Right now, we are trying to get some funding from different sources to expand that to the full 5-lane cross-section. And so we'll work with them as they're getting a little bit closer. Hopefully, as they're kind of doing their environmental and getting their clearances, we can work with them. Ideally, we would prefer to build it in its permanent location, and that's depending on how.
That's what I'm asking about.
But again, if they've looked at the cost and it's losing, say, 30, 40 feet of curb and some asphalt that gets absorbed into our roadway or something like that, then it could be a better financial move for them. And we'll just try and coordinate it. We hate to see infrastructure go in and get moved and ripped out, and we don't want to do things twice if we can avoid it, and I'm sure that's their goal as well. So we'll coordinate with them on that, and if we can coordinate it, quite frankly, the 30-minute service is a huge upgrade for our community, and, you know, perhaps it's worth that interim solution if it's going to get us that service quicker. So again, we'll work with them on that.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you for that feedback.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Not? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and we'll work with staff to come up with the agreements.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, reports from the council. Okay, Councilwoman Comber.
Just putting a plug in, Splash Days is coming, just get it on the record. It's the 5th, I think, through the 8th.
Okay.
Well, we have more of a plan for us. Well, you, I mean.
Our big plan is Saturday morning.
Okay.
Everything else is you're on your own. Like if you want to go to things, you're welcome to, but on Saturday morning.
But we'll coordinate.
And then if we could coordinate a van or something that could take us to the start from the Westlake High School so that we don't have to walk the whole route twice. That'd be great.
And we'll get an email out to you with all the details as we get a little closer.
Perfect. Thanks, Ann.
Okay. Perfect. Mark, anything from administration?
Jeremy has an announcement that he'd like to make. What's out to bid today?
You had me so scared. This boy has told us he's leaving before.
No. Two announcements. I already emailed you, but just so it's on public record. Cemetery is out to bid. Yay. Bid opening is June 5th. Thank you for those who were able to attend the cemetery field trip. I thought it was very educational, learned a lot. And then I also emailed you today, we got another grant for $400,000 for the North Marina. This is a new grant program through the Division of Natural Resources. So, and they loved the project so much, they were like, come back and ask for more in the future. That was the last, yeah, very happily. So that was the last funding gap to phase this phase, which was the jetty, the parking lot, the restroom. At this point, the only thing holding us up is our wetland permit from the Army Corps, and then we'll go out to bid the North Marina. So
That's fantastic.
that's, yeah,
Okay. That's great news.
two good news.
And then Mayor and Council, if we could, we do have need for a brief closed session this evening.
Okay.
And just a reminder, Lars is here to do a presentation on Patriot Park, so if you so choose when you're done with the council updates.
Okay. We will knock out the public hearings really fast because they'll be quick, and then we can do that. Okay, consent item. I will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the consent item for minutes, May 7th, 2024.
First from Councilwoman Comber,
Second.
second from Councilwoman Barton. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion, any opposed? Motion is approved. Public hearing, we have a public hearing tonight for the council will accept public comment and may approve the following items. First one is the enterprise fund transfer and the final budget resolution.
Evening, Mayor and Council. This is the final draft of the enterprise fund transfers. There's been no changes since last time. So are there any questions for staff at this time?
If there's not, we'll move on to the public hearing. This is a public hearing. Is anybody here to speak to the final budget? If so, please follow the standard comments. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Hold on.
Oh,
Sorry, I got it. Just a second. Let me look that up really quick. We need more than just that. Enterprise fund transfers. As Spencer was mentioning that, we actually have to provide more specific information in this public hearing. Okay, we have to, in the statute, it says we have to hold the enterprise fund hearing, and at the hearing, I apologize for this, but we have to provide the enterprise, we have to explain the intent to transfer the enterprise fund money to another fund. So we have to go into some specific details that Spencer can discuss that. That has to be part of the public hearing, not just part of the packet that's attached to the public hearing.
Yeah. As part of the staff report, you'll notice that we'll have like each different fund. Those funds will do things for water, for storm drain, whatever it be. Those funds are charged a certain amount for services provided by the general fund, general fund's the main city fund. So stuff like HR, payroll, administration, legal services. Like water fund has 12 employees, Jeremy, like in the water department. It's not enough for them to have their own tech, whatever. So that way, the main city provides that and we charge them for those services. In addition, there's also transfers for some of the funds to provide for debt payments for their share of the city's debt.
So just as a continuation of that, if you recall, a lot of these are enterprise funds. Enterprise funds are required to operate like a business and be financially sustained by themselves. As such, it makes more sense for us to provide these general services in the general fund and then allocate costs to those funds based on the proportionate share of services they receive. So this is the indirect and direct cost analysis that we've done, and the fees that we've established is as the appropriate way to have those utility funds pay their proportionate share of the general fund so that the general fund is not subsidizing enterprise or business funds here in the city.
Yeah, and we update that every year. We'll put in new, 'cause pay plan numbers change every year and other things like that, so we just try to keep it up to date.
And what's new this year is that we have to go through this process at the council before it was part of the budget. Okay, so we've reached the first threshold. The second part of it, we have to provide the enterprise fund accounting data to the public in this hearing. So I don't know if can we put that up on the screen briefly? Again, this will be new going forward. We have to follow these three things. And then the last part of it, of course, is the public hearing portion, which we already did. So we met the third one. And actually, you should probably open the public hearing one more time after you've presented this information and see if anybody here wants to comment on that. Spencer has a chart showing all the transfers.
Right there. And it shows the percentage as well of those transfers make up of that enterprise
Blow
fund.
that up for Councilman Carn's eyes.
It's right here.
Mayor, we know you're asking for yourself.
No, I got it here too.
So as you can see, the percentages is listed on the far right-hand column. The amounts is broken down, whether it's non-personnel services or personnel services, and then the total amount that is transferred within the funds. And so again, you've got our debt service, charges as well that are also included for debt payments and things of that nature relative to those funds. So again, happy to answer any more specific questions, but I believe.
If you could read each number out loud to us, just to make sure.
Both Kevin's gonna make all that.
5,
We're good,
6.
just showing the chart.
Okay.
Okay.
We will reopen the public hearing in case that changed anybody's mind to make a comment.
Because there's storm in the door.
Eston, do you want to make a comment, make us feel good? Okay. I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
I'll move approval of public hearing item 1 as stated on the agenda.
I have an enthusiastic first from Councilman Wilden, second from Councilman Carn. Any further discussion? Barton?
Aye.
Comber?
Aye.
Wilden?
Aye.
Carn?
Aye.
Wadman?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. We have the compensation schedule for executive and municipal officers. Kevin, do we need to do more for this one too?
No, so this one's not as specific, surprisingly, just as long as you, obviously staff
this
is
is the new-
presenting that and you have to have a public hearing on it.
Okay.
Hey, Mayor and Council, thank you. This executive municipal officers is due to SB 91, where we have to disclose any potential pay increase for certain positions within our organization. It's listed in your packet, but it is the same amount as they are eligible as any other employee in the organization. So with that, any questions?
No questions?
And it's all based on merit. Sorry, just to point that out.
Okay. If there's no questions, I will open the public hearing. Anybody here for this item? Okay, seeing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
I move to approve public hearing item 2 as stated on the agenda.
I'll second.
I have a first from Councilman Carn, second Councilman McComber. Any further discussion? Wadman?
Aye.
Aye.
Wilden?
Aye.
Comber?
Aye.
Barton?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. We have the fiscal year 2024-2025 final budget and pay plan, no tax increase.
Okay, we presented this last time, the tentative. There's been no changes since last time. We would just like to thank everybody for their help and participation and for council's guidance on this. A lot of work's been put into it. Any questions for staff at this time?
Do we have to do more?
This one's the same as it was before. Okay, I will open the public comment. Anybody here for this one? Okay, seeing none, I will close the public input and entertain a motion.
In 15 years, no one's ever shown. I'm just saying.
Okay,
Call no hitters.
I'll move approval of public hearing item number 3 as stated on the agenda.
okay, I have a first from Councilman Wilden,
Second.
second from Councilman Wadman. Any further discussion? Carn?
Aye.
Wadman?
Aye.
Wilden?
Aye.
Comber?
Aye.
Barton?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Let's get all these hearings done. We will now quickly move to our CRDA meeting, so we will temporarily adjourn from council meeting. I'll call the meeting to order for the City of Saratoga Springs Development and Renewal Agency meeting at 6:47 PM. Present tonight, we have Board Member Barton, McComber, Wilden, Carn, and Wadman. So we do have a quorum. We have the resolution approving the CDRA final budget.
Keep on getting to stand up. So this is the final budget for the CDRA. We're just recommending a slight increase from this last year. It's going really well. Costco's done better than we anticipated, and we should probably be paying them off in another, I think, 2 years. So things are going really well.
So we're ahead of schedule.
Yep.
Love that.
Okay. There's no question.
Keep buying stuff at Costco.
Okay. Anybody here for public input? Seeing none, I will close that and entertain a motion.
I move that we approve resolution approving the CDRA final budget for fiscal year 24-25 as stated on the agenda.
Have a first from Board Member McComber,
I'll second.
second from Board Member Barton. Any further discussion? Wadman?
Aye.
Carn?
Aye.
Wilden?
Aye.
McComber?
Aye.
Barton?
Aye.
Motion passes. I'll entertain a motion on the approval of
Mayor,
the minutes.
or
So made.
Mr. Chair, you actually do vote on this.
Oh, yay. Okay,
So made on the minutes.
so made. I have a first from Councilman McComber,
Second.
second from Councilman Carn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I will adjourn the meeting and we will go into the local building authority meeting. I'll call this meeting to order at 6:48 PM
Didn't know you had so
on
many
Tuesday,
titles,
May
did you?
21st, 2024. Have Board Member Barton.
No, trustee.
What?
Or
Trustee, oh, we're trustees this time.
Trustees now.
We have lots of titles.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Barton, Wilden, Carn, McComber, and Wadman, so we do have a quorum this evening.
Ed Miller.
And Miller. I'm chair, I'm not trustee.
Chair and trustee. yeah.
Well, chair and trustee.
Okay, we have a public hearing, resolution adopting a tentative budget for this.
Come on
I think
down.
this is the last time. So this is the tentative budget for the LBA. This is a new fund we have created primarily for the construction of the new city hall. So that's why if you've looked at it, a really big lump sum payment right at the start, that's for the construction. After this next year, probably primarily will be about just paying back the debt. So any questions for staff at this time?
Nope, okay. I will open the public hearing. Is anybody here for public input this evening? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion from a trustee.
I'll move that we approve public hearing item 1 as stated on the agenda.
The first from trustee Wilden,
Second.
second from trustee Carn. Any further comments? Barton?
Aye.
Comber?
Aye.
Miller? Aye. Wilden?
Aye.
Carn?
Aye.
Wadman?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So made.
I have a first from
Second.
trustee McComber, second from trustee Carn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Go back to the city council agenda meeting, and we will jump to the work session this evening for Patriot Park Phase 3 concept discussion.
We're going to do that before business.
We're skipping ahead.
Everybody's flagging to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Then we're gonna go back.
Mr. Mayor and council members, nice to be with you again. It's been a while since I've been with you, so I just want to put a plug in for Jeremy getting those grants. We assisted him on that, and I applaud your aggressiveness in going after these grants. There's a lot of money out there available for the North Marina and for this park. We were able to secure $5 million from the county for a sports park in Provo recently, and that's rare because they used to not fund sports parks. And so you're seeing that kind of turn, and there would be opportunities for this one as well if you're interested in that.
Yes. Especially with all those pickleball courts.
It was T-TAB. Yes, especially because there's so many tournaments that are coming in town. ESPN is starting to televise, and so in that situation, we did 45 pickleball courts. It's under construction right now, and they have a championship court similar to what we're showing here, an opportunity to grow the program. Just some ideas for you. I brought the boards because I didn't know if we're going to be able to show it at good enough resolution for you, and I brought 11 by 17s if everybody wants to look at it closer. And if you want to sketch your own park, now's the chance, you know?
I was giving some context. So we want to make a presentation at Splash. So if there's anything that you see tonight that you would like changed before we present it to the public as a concept at Splash, please, tonight's the night. So this is the last chance for feedback on what goes to the public as a concept, not the last chance before the design's finished, just so you're aware.
Yes, so this is literally a sketch that you're seeing that we put together last week. As you know, a year ago, last year, 2023 sometime, we did a concept for you. We got your comments back, and then we got comments from staff members last week about what things they would like to see changed, and that's what you're seeing right now. It is just nothing more than a sketch.
on this?
This
You
is, not yet. This
We
is your
haven't given
first.
feedback yet.
Yeah, no, you haven't given
Okay,
feedback.
he was sort of, it sounded like we.
He said he met with some staff, and so, you know, you got some staff comments. While they're looking at it, I'll just give you a quick shot. We want the amphitheater pulled back to the edge of the parking lot. We want to lose the fountain, the water feature that you've got behind it. And then right
Where's that?
behind
What's
the
this?
amphitheater, we
The
want.
water feature behind it was from the old sketch, so we did lose that.
Okay, but the amphitheater needs to come back, so it's right on the edge of the parking lot, the existing parking lot, because you've got some,
Oh, because I have the ice rink there.
yeah, that's
Yes,
gone.
ice rink out.
Ice rink does not go there. We need that parking lot there because we want more field space behind the amphitheater for overflow instead of you're jamming in a bunch of, yeah, north of the amphitheater, we want more field space behind it so that it can expand out into the amphitheater overflow seating could expand out into that area. Right now, you've programmed it with all kinds of stuff that would prohibit. Yeah, so move the amphitheater down and then have that amphitheater then have some more open space and grass space beyond it.
So one of
Lose the ice rink altogether?
As far as at that location, no ice rink. At least at that specific spot. Again, our intent is to have overflow from the amphitheater so that more people could participate with that in kind of a field arrangement behind there. And the way that you've got it programmed, it creates a finite space for the amphitheater as opposed to an expand.
Got it.
So I have a problem with the, how the amphitheater is positioned. You're basically having all of the crowd staring into the sun, the south end of our city. The sun is in the south more, and it's either the top or in the south, and so now everyone's looking into the sun when they're looking on stage. That's not great, and I mean, you're a performer, like, it's good for the performers, but all of the crowd are basically looking into the sun. They won't be able to see anything.
Isn't that our problem at at Neptune Park currently when they're all facing west in the evening? Wrong with our stage at Neptune.
Well, no, Neptune isn't great because Neptune is sort of like southwest. But yeah, but in the summer, it actually goes over this to the side. It goes over the playground. But ideally, you're looking more, because our other amphitheater that we had, the other location faced east. That's ideal. And so is there any way we can just shift it slightly so that it's at least southeast?
We could explore all those things, yeah.
To tweak it so that it's facing towards City Hall a little bit more? So you know what I'm saying? So instead of being like, I'm looking south, I can be looking southeast. Yes, so that the crowd, the performers are facing the northwest, and the people looking are looking southeast. So it's like twisting like this, Chris, like this, just.
Rotate it to 10 o'clock.
So if it's okay, we'll take that feedback and we'll actually do some research into what's the best way to orient those.
Yeah, and I don't need that before splash days,
No,
honestly, but
no.
I'm just, keep this in mind because you want to make sure the crowd isn't looking into the sun because they can't see anything, and then also the performers shouldn't be looking into the sun. So that's why as much of an east-west orientation is best. And then I personally do like the ice ribbon. I know Mark's not a fan of this location, but we have, I've talked to some of the Harriman City Council, and they have great success with this. They actually have covered their cost after not even year 2. They were able to cover their entire expense, and it's now a profit maker to help cover some of their other expenses. So it's not like they're making money off the residents. It covers some of the other activities. And it is something that we can use this park in the winter, where a lot of the parks just sort of sit empty, and it gets a lot of attention, where this is going to become one of the largest central parks. When we connect this to our marina, we're going to be one of the largest park systems in the state of Utah, and that's going to be really impressive. And we're going to win awards, we're going to win grants, a lot of things. So I would like to, if we could figure out a way we can make it work potentially. And if we can't do it here, then we can maybe think of it somewhere else. And then about how many pickleball courts are there over there on the? It's 24 plus the champion court. That's great. That's a tournament. So that's how you get. Yeah. Okay.
Plus you got the other courts.
Yeah, and the other courts, you can have those practice courts when they're doing the tournament. People can use those and stuff. And then are those baseball fields, Heston, are they the full size, or are those a softball and?
Two of them are softball and 2 of them are full size.
Are the baseball the ones?
South.
The south side, okay. So we're not,
What's our biggest field in the existing park?
300 feet.
300, okay.
So when do we talk about, like, if we're doing our first turf or just regular fields and stuff like that? Is that later on down the road?
Like these ones?
to do the heating, we're doing heating and
Is
yeah.
that later on? Okay.
So I got a little bit on skating rink. So Lehigh this last year got a $250,000 grant and did a skating rink at their some of their baseball fields. It was highly successful. It was used a lot. I don't frankly know I don't think it covered $250,000 in costs, but they had a grant for it. But the fact that it was used as much as it was, I think there's definite want for that.
And that's why the ribbons are cheaper, because they're cement sidewalks during you know what I mean? So they're multi-used.
Yeah.
So that's why they're so valuable.
Yeah, I don't.
'Cause they put up the little barrier, it's like a little bumper on the side to protect the cement.
Yeah, I don't know if it's cheaper, and I don't have any idea about that, but I do see the need for that use. Lars, what I don't like is the concept of that skate park in the overflow of the pavilion, the amphitheater. Because what my thought was is you have amphitheater seating with multi-purpose fields behind it
Yeah.
that create overflow seating for your amphitheater events that are bigger.
Well, the free seating, and you can pay.
Right, free seating, right.
Charge in the amphitheater.
Right, he's charging the amphitheater, free above it, yeah, exactly. And so having something right behind the amphitheater is counterintuitive to that.
And it's a sort of a noisy thing too, when you're having a production.
If you have a skate park.
Right.
Because skateboards, they're not going to go to the production. They're going skating.
You're suggesting that if we had some sort of our symphony, doing a summer series symphony.
You don't want
probably don't
75
want
kids
sounds of the skate park.
grinding over there.
Skate parks are
Overwhelming.
fun, but it doesn't, they don't know.
I grew up in Orange, so we had a skate rink there, and so I would love, again, I don't know if this is the right place for it, probably not, but someplace if we could put that in there.
Lars is good. He can
We-
figure it out.
I mean, I skated every single winter all the time. Like, it was a big deal.
Lehigh's skate rink was really successful this year.
What about the North Marina? Over there?
Just right onto the list.
Yeah.
Lars, what about the ice rink as part of the North Marina?
Oh, I think that's genius, but
Because then we're moving it away and then we have parking there that's not being used during
yeah,
the,
we have room there.
there's room.
Again, we can play with a lot of different concepts. One thing that I think we want to point out is Heston would like to have us consider artificial turf infields for the new quad that we're considering. In other words, it would allow him to kind of be able to program and not have to worry so much about rain delays and other things. But that's something that we could consider. Again, that's not going to appear like this. We would want to look at that. There are 2 tennis courts that are identified below the pickleball courts. And although tennis isn't as big of a thing, those could be used for,
Still nice to have them, a couple.
Let's be honest, make sure when you're doing the tennis courts that you line them with pickleball because pickleball will be busy, just like in PG. All of the pickleball courts are busy and the tennis courts are empty.
and again, we could put some basketball standards in there.
Yeah,
and they
you
could
could do
duel as
basketball.
Okay.
I'm just saying, or volleyball.
Something
You could
like-
do.
yeah, that's a great idea.
Make them, don't make them tennis courts, make them multi-purpose courts. Basketball, volleyball, tennis.
Heston, can you come up? I got a question.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
The Pleasant Grove, they put in these tennis courts and no one uses.
So I'm by no means an expert in recreation, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. No, I played recreational softball for over 20 years.
Professional.
Utah and Salt Lake County. I never played on a field that was all turf infield. Is that becoming more popular? Because I think I would hate to play on that.
So, yes, all collegiate programs are moving to that, and most high schools.
That's how BYU is right now.
Yeah, and most high schools are begging to get their fields moved to that as well.
Is it a different type of turf? I would think that would speed the ball a lot. Yeah.
It is faster, yes, but you don't have the divots, you don't have those issues with balls
Right.
bouncing up into people's faces. Rain is not an issue. You can play with that, but yeah, like BYU's field is
Sliding on
turf.
that
and
stuff is awful.
This is the infield is turf.
Just the infield. I want the outfield still turf because I might want to stripe it for flag football or something.
Yeah.
You can't stripe an synthetic turf
So,
field.
and you're talking about, do you still
like
have,
tight
you
turf.
still, but you completely eliminate the dirt running lanes. It's
Yes.
all turf.
All turf.
They run on turf even.
Yeah, they run on turf.
So
I mean, I'm not,
So
I take you guys'
The
recommendation.
most recent
I just-
park in the area that I know of
It's
is.
weird to me.
Orem just did this, their softball field, so if you want to do a field trip, we can go over to
They
Orem.
just did it at the park out west.
By Vineyard there,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, I'll go look at it.
Yep.
All their fields are all turf now.
It's just the infield. The outfield is
right.
still regular turf.
I would like to
Do you have a dirt pitching mound?
For that, no,
It's sort of-
you would bring in a portable mound, because we have different mount sizes for the
Yeah.
different age groups.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind doing a field trip to see that infield because that is interesting. And then, because I know we're going to get questions on it, especially from like people like you who played softball
Yeah.
and baseball a lot.
It's just different from what I've ever.
And I also
been on.
wouldn't mind seeing, over in Harriman, they've done the big pickleball facility. Like, I'd love to learn from people's mistakes. And so by doing a tour like that, you can start saying, okay, maybe, this is really long and linear, maybe you go one more wider, so, however, but just learning from people's mistakes. We've done a lot, we've won a lot of advantage for our city because we've learned from other cities' problems.
Is this 10 total fields, baseball fields, 4 additional?
Yeah, it's 4 additional fields, so it'd be, 6
Does
as well.
10 give us the ability to start hosting larger regional tournaments? And would we even have the programming capacity to do that with what we currently run as a city rec?
So in the bigger picture, because Lehigh has their fields plus their I don't know, I think they changed the name, it used to be Forest Miller, but they're
They've kind of tabled that for
Miller
now.
Roads Park. So I would say in combination of Lehigh and us, we could do a pretty,
I don't think we should count on those for 10 years over there because they've tabled that
we
discussion.
got a while. With 10 fields, we can definitely be part of a regional tournament.
But do we have the programming capacity for it?
To bring in a tournament?
So Heston, I
Because
think
we're already over.
Yeah, like, do we have space for?
based on our program needs, would we have capacity to host additional events?
Yes, but not, it'd be tough. Basically, from April through middle of July, we're booked out with our own programs and with the capacity that we have right now. And then in the fall, our adult program, we have 50, 60 playing currently in the fall because we don't have a youth program. But we also have been playing flag football on those fields because we need the lights.
Yeah.
With Patriot Park, we would be able to move that off. If we have lights on the multi-purpose fields, we'd be able to move them off, and those fields would be open for the fall for more programs.
That brings me to those open fields. I know several of us have talked about it. I really, when we look at this, I want to investigate geothermal
Yeah.
on one or two of those fields and lighting them, because I know we could program outdoor soccer and adult leagues till 3 in the morning if we wanted to.
Well,
We
we're running
could.
water, why don't we do 2 of these baseball fields too? Because we're running it there anyway.
I would like to have a conversation when we get further into detail. I love the idea of a synthetic turf, the purpose field, but I can't paint lines on the fields because, so it really limits what I can do with them. So with only 3 in the current plan, I would probably prefer to go natural turf.
Okay.
Because I can use those for more things than.
But you can still
synthetic turf.
heat a natural turf
I assume you can.
and
It actually heats faster.
and program it later into the year. I mean,
It does heat.
my friends' kids who play competitive soccer, they literally play on concrete in the winter. I mean, it's ground, but it's frozen solid, and they're playing outdoor soccer on it.
Actually, the heat would come through easier if it would.
So what I was mentioning behind the amphitheater, if the amphitheater slid down, we could get another field probably east-west behind that, and that could be yet another field that we could consider. Again, it's a question of can we fit skate park and skate art and other things in other areas of the park and kind of free up some more turf just north of the amphitheater that could free up another field. And again, those are the kinds of things that we could be looking
I
towards.
actually think the skate park should be where we do the dumps, where the big dumps.
I was just about to say, Inlet Park, if we're getting all these multipurpose fields here, Inlet Park could be redone for other things.
I think Inlet Park needs to be more.
If you shift a skating rink to the North Marina, potentially, because I like the idea, we've got all the parking over there, it's unused in the winter.
But the skating park does need to be somewhere where it's highly.
Can be monitored.
Yeah, but if it's over there, you're on Pony Express Parkway.
You're on Pony Express and you're still 400 yards from the police department.
Yeah.
And they all come down
I
Pony
think it's all,
Express into the police station.
It's all
good thing is we've got a huge
to look at.
paint
Yeah,
on,
I'm just saying,
right?
sometimes, I think that we're making Patriot Park so great, Inlet Park is gonna look like the ugly little stepchild. And if we did incorporate it in a little bit more,
part of it,
and then that's where we can maybe do the skateboard park and stuff.
So are you saying you'd like to see this concept kind of expanded to include portions of the park that are under?
Well, I mean,
Well,
We have
we
this-
obviously have to phase it at
it's
some
part of
point.
their phasing, but I think that we need a skateboard park, we need a good skateboard park. I think we're trying to slam a skateboard maybe too
Just to have
small,
one, yeah.
To have one, where that is a much bigger space, you could actually get the nice bowls. And there are 4 residents in this city who have maybe promised that when we go to design the skateboard park, we will include them.
Oh,
Who are avid skateboarders.
and this one's really important. Councilman Wilden keeps asking me, which field is going to be named Space Force to stick with the theme now? that-
Yes, yes.
No, can I just throw out a big, I'm a big advocate for the artificial turf on the infield. I help run the Utah High School softball tournament every single year, and we're watching that weather every single day. So when we did 2A, 3A, we had a rain delay, and if we'd had, it wasn't a huge one because there wasn't a ton of rain, but it was enough that we couldn't play in the fields anymore. So just for that, just the infield, that's all you need, right?
That's right.
It's perfect.
There's been 2 times this year where we've had rain throughout the day, and the evening is just beautiful, but we
Yep.
can't play
You can't because the rut.
the fields took too
But
many.
if it was artificial turf, you could literally still play.
Yep.
Like it's, I don't know. I would love if we could do it. Again, I know that's a conversation in the future, but all the colleges, like you said, colleges do it that way now.
And most high schools that are being built now are
They're doing it
Yep.
as well.
Yep.
Is it evil to say, do we have too much parking here?
A little bit, I think.
No.
We talked
No,
about.
it's not able to say.
Not enough?
City Council.
So on this, there was one thing I wanted to point out. Right on the east side of the new baseball quad, those parking lots, and in civic events has asked if we could make sure that we don't have parking islands all throughout it, so that we could actually have the carnival set up on the asphalt there and not impact the fields. Again, we're losing about a month to a month and a half after we have the carnival on the fields to try and get them rehabilitated and back to playing condition. And so again, one of the things that we'd consider is could we preserve some asphalt parking lot so that it could have farmers markets? It could have
a great
those
idea.
kinds of things that would be allowing for us to have basically a paved surface
So
that
much
could
better than
have
having
other
it-
types of uses for it. So again, those are some things that we're starting to incorporate and discuss. And again, if you can just make any comments that you've got, get those to Jeremy so that we can get those to Lars. And then Lars can incorporate those. The next drawing that we take to Splash, we'll have some of these incorporated into it. We'll take public comment and we'll continue to develop these themes. But again, we just need to get Lars some immediate feedback so he can be working towards a solution.
Onset watermarks.
Well, somewhere, even though we don't have the skate parks, if we even move from here, but some idea that we're still gonna have them someplace, we want to make sure we have a splash, because people want that. Like so anyway, even if they're not right here in this part, maybe, you know, some side something like you were saying. like
The
different
one
part-
at Lehigh on 2100, I was telling Mark, it is always full.
Always full. It doesn't matter even what the weather is, I mean, the temperature is out.
I know.
so
The one in
Could be
Draper
32
was done right.
degrees.
The one in Draper was done right, and people come from all over the state
Yeah.
to go to that skate park.
Mayor, I have two things. Patriot Park, I think we mentioned it, you know, and I know the theme was around the four branches and stuff. But if this is the park, Patriot Park, people, I think we should put some more emphasis on, and I don't know if we can. But maybe push the Patriot theme a little bit.
Tim's doing it right now.
We're doing it. You're so.
Michael and I have come up with
You got Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Space Force, Coast Guard, Police, Fire,
And
open
then the,
fields,
fields.
Constitution, Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights.
I think that's a great
The
idea.
pickleball courts, this is
George Washington.
Oh,
Rosa
I
Parks.
think we should. I think and the second thing is, we've talked about this before. If we do have invitations and tournaments here, we talked about having overnight or the ability for trailers to come in. Did we talk about that before?
Oh, we did talk
We
about
have.
it. We did
Okay,
talk
we-
about it a little bit for tournaments and stuff like that, 'cause
Yeah.
people bring them in.
Now, I know that's the second phase because this is just for in-house.
Yeah, I would highly recommend we really think about it. We've had people sneak in and in the past, we've had beer cans, we've had all sorts, there's other issues that come with that. So it'd be nice if we do that we have regular, a place
Right.
for them.
Yeah.
And it's not just,
Rather have a.
Just wherever they want.
I'd
Yeah.
almost rather have a commercial RV park somewhere, but we are gonna have hotels very soon that can accommodate.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll still have the RV people that they're RV people for tournaments. They're not gonna go to a hotel, so they want to find some place.
But also need to be very careful that we don't, I mean, we're dealing with kind of this RV culture and this van culture. We've got to be very careful because
staying
as we
everywhere.
open these
Days and they
doors,
move.
yeah, as we open these doors, we don't want to be creating essentially temporary encampments.